And Adele's drive, that fierce need to protect her family, and the moral.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're really tearing into Lisa Unger's psychological thriller. Close your eyes and count to 10.
Yeah, we've been digging through some excerpts, stuff that lays out the basic premise and really gets at the core themes.
Right. So our mission kind of for this deep dive is just to unpack those key elements, see how this high-stakes game just plummets into something really life-threatening. And honestly, the setup itself is, well, it grabs you. Picture this extreme hide-and-seek game.
Like really extreme.
Exactly, on this remote island. And there's this organizer, super charismatic, but maybe a little dangerous.
Yeah, there's that vibe. Maverick Dillon
Right.
leads this whole social media stunt thing.
That's him. And there's a huge prize. We're talking $1 million. And then, well, things just go sideways fast.
Right, because it starts as this, spectacle for online fame, all hinging on that $1 million. But the pivot, the real twist, is the storm.
Yes, the storm.
This massive storm hits, traps everyone on this island. Falcao, I think it was.
Falcao Island, yeah.
And that's it. The lines just blur instantly. What was a game suddenly becomes this brutal fight just to stay alive.
And smack in the middle of all that chaos, you're following Adele. Her motivation is, well, it's powerful. She's trying to protect her 2 kids.
Because her husband's gone, right?
Yeah.
Vanished. Some kind of financial crime allegations, is that it?
Exactly. And she sees this insane $1 million prize as like the only possible way to keep her family safe. So that desperation just throws her right into this whole mess.
And you see that initial hope, that idea of security just evaporate. The material we looked at suggests her journey pretty quickly becomes about navigating this really dangerous reality.
Full of deception.
Totally. Deception, intense psychological pressure. And it feels like the storm outside is almost mirroring the, internal chaos building up between the players.
That's a good point.
Constantly blurring that line between the game they thought they were playing and this terrifying survival situation they're actually stuck in.
But it's not just Adele, though, is it? What seems clear from the excerpts is that the story jumps around different perspectives.
Yeah, multiple viewpoints.
And it sounds like every single contestant has brought some kind of secret, some personal baggage onto that island with them.
Which immediately brings up that question. The book seems to force on you. When everyone's hiding something, who on earth can you actually trust?
Good luck with that.
Right.
Right.
You see how these secrets just make any kind of alliance feel incredibly fragile? It just breeds suspicion everywhere. And Adele's drive, that fierce need to protect her family, and the moral choices she has to make, that becomes this kind of anchor point you keep coming back to amidst all the tension.
Unger really seems to build this incredibly tense atmosphere. Almost claustrophobic, maybe.
Definitely. The descriptions point to a story that's just packed with twists, packed with suspense, always making you wonder, what are people really capable of when they're pushed that far?
Yeah, beyond their limits.
And that loops back to that initial driver, right? The desire for fame, for the money, the prize, the social media buzz,
Right.
the material hints that when the stakes get this high, that ambition can really expose or maybe amplify the deeper vulnerabilities people have. It's presented as this relentless, pulse-pounding kind of ride.
It sounds like it really blends that psychological tension with a pretty chilling survival story.
Perfectly, yeah. That seems to be the core blend.
Okay, so pulling this deep dive together then, we've looked at Close Your Eyes and Count to 10, explored its mix of psychological suspense and that survival thriller aspect. Kicks off as this big social media game, remote island, big prize, but spirals really fast into a brutal fight for survival once that storm hits and traps them all.
Exactly. And what this deep dive, I think, shows is how the book uses these specific pieces. Adele's desperate motivation for her family, the secrets everyone seems to be carrying, that constant, almost suffocating tension, to make you think about those bigger questions. Like, what does trust even mean under that kind of pressure? What would you do to survive? And, the dark side of chasing fame and fortune.
So thinking about how quickly that line just dissolves in the story between the sort of virtual game and the brutal reality, what does that maybe tell you, the listener, about the real world risks when that drive for fame, for money, pushes people right to the very edge?
Definitely something to think about.
Grab Close Your Eyes and Count to 10 by Lisa Unger, now on sale for $19.95. Don't miss this chance to build good habit and achieve remarkable results. Buy now, today.
Like and subscribe for more Bookhaven podcasts.